Hey everyone, Jacob and Riley here from ConcealCarry.com to tell you about what I think is the biggest event of the year. Well, it's at least the biggest free event of the year. Now, we're getting ready to do some big, awesome free webinars with Andrew Branca, with attorney Andrew Branca. But before I just tell you to just go sign up and attend, even though it's free and you might do it, I think it's important for you to understand the background of what's going on here. You see, back in May of this year, early May of 2018, we set out on a little bit of a project. What had happened is we had seen so many comments on our site, comments on social media, live conversations we were having with gun owners, with firearm instructors, who would say things that just make us think, you know, that's not right, that's not true. There's so much misinformation, particularly when it comes to the law of self-defense, that we were just kind of alarmed. And we thought, you know what, the best thing we could do is really just put people to the test.
Yep. So we created the self-defense quiz, and we had a lot of people take that quiz. I think you said to me just a few minutes ago that so far it's still live. You can still take it. So what, 17,000 plus?
Over 17,000 people, yeah, take the quiz.
So this is not a small sample size. This is not like we, you know, just had 30 people do it or 100 people do it. This is a small town that has taken this quiz, and these are gun people. Right? These are people in our audience. Many of you watching this may very well have taken this quiz. My hope is that you scored well, but the reality is not everybody did.
No, in fact, the average score is a failing grade. If this was a traditional school setting where we were handing out grades, the average score is an F. It's a failing grade. Out of a 10-question quiz, the average score is between 5 and 6. So it is not good. And certainly there are certain questions on that quiz that really stick out as being the ones that people struggle with the most, where there's some questions that the majority of people did get right. Now, before you think that we're just making crap up and this is completely insane, we teamed up with Andrew Branca on this. Andrew Branca, the attorney behind thelawofselfdefense.com, the book, he is the guy. He is the recognized #1 lead source for self-defense law in this entire country. And so we went to him. He actually wrote each question of the quiz. He came up with all the answers. He scored the quiz responses. And it was really shocking, not only to us, but to him, how people were scoring on this quiz. Yeah. And it's been pretty wild to think about. Now, I'm not going to give away all of the hints here, because in a minute, we're going to ask you to go to a link here below the video where you can learn a little bit more about what some of the things, the main questions are that people failed on, what are some of the ones that people struggle with the most, and we're going to ask you to register for the webinar. But the webinars are coming up, and they're 100% free.
Yeah, they are indeed. One thing I just wanted to add is I hope people aren't feeling too bad. You know, if they didn't score well, or if our talking about this right now makes it feel like you all just suck. That's not really the case, because keep in mind that you're not alone. We're not alone. I didn't get a perfect score the first time I took it. I'll be honest. Okay, I think I got a 9 out of 10. You probably got a 10 out of 10.
Well, I put the questions into the system.
You saw the quiz before. I cheated it blind. So.
Yeah, I had seen all the answers before I took the quiz.
I'll take a 9 out of 10. You
can feel proud about that.
I'll admit it. But here's the thing: realize that we have sheriffs, okay, of major sheriff departments. We have prosecutors, even documented instances and statements, and we've talked about this on the podcast, where they don't even understand the laws themselves either, and sometimes in some very big areas of the law.
Yeah, we've seen cases that have to go up to the Supreme Court to get thrown out because the judge didn't even understand the law well enough to provide the proper jury instructions.
That's right.
So don't. Yes, this is not meant to be a rag on everybody kind of situation. The truth is that I inherently believe that the honest truth is this is not about any of our lack or inattempt to try and understand the law. It's about misinformation. I think it's a combination of several things. One, that we inherently believe that laws vary so much from state to state, and so we got to get these statutes out, and we got to read the statute, and that's really inherently not that real. That's not that true. Certainly laws do vary a little bit from state to state, but they're all based off the original English common law. So there's inherent themes that are the same across the board. I think the second issue is that you have these little things that happen that become part of our vocabulary, part of our nature, and we just say them and we repeat them over and over again when they're not true. Stand your ground is a great example of this. Oh my gosh, for every time I see a major news outlet say something about stand the ground that has absolutely nothing to do with real stand your ground law, it makes me sick a little bit inside. And a year or two ago, I might have sat there and nodded my head like, yeah, sure, because I didn't know better.
Sure.
And that's the sad thing.
Yeah, it's tough because, you see instances that get high media attention, and they might be kind of controversial situations, and they're not necessarily stand your ground issues, but yet stand your ground law is the thing that comes under fire. Back to the webinar that we're going to have coming up here shortly, right? If you carry a gun for a living or not, fact is, if you carry a gun, you got a gun on you right now, you're carrying concealed, that's our hope. We hope that you are a responsibly armed American. Then you need to understand to the best of your ability self-defense law. And so these free webinars coming up on the 19th and 20th are a great opportunity to make sure that you truly know and understand and are prepared to actually use that gun and not get in trouble because of it.
Now, the information in these webinars is meant to be actionable, because self-defense law, if it's not actionable, then what's the point? We would all just live in ignorance and say, my attorney's got this. But that's not the reality. The truth is you need to know the law, not just what it says, but also how you apply it, so that you can keep yourself out of a situation where you need to hire the attorney to begin with. And so these webinars, that's really what this is about. It's about understanding the core components of self-defense law. And it's about the live Q&A. You're going to be able to ask questions directly to Attorney Andrew Branca, and he's going to respond to those. You can ask him as specific questions as you want, anything to do with self-defense law, and I promise you he is both prepared and capable of answering those questions. Now, we're going to do the webinar twice because we know everyone's got complicated, difficult schedules. We're all busy people. So first it will be on September 19th. That's a Wednesday in the evening hours. Now, to get the specific time for your time zone and everything, click on the link below the video to go to the registration page. So Wednesday night on September 19th, and then we will do another session the next day on Thursday, September 20th in the afternoon.
Yep. So we hope to see you there. I'm excited to do this webinar with you and with Andrew, because it's going to be eye-opening no matter who you are. And anyone that's participated in, let's see, we had him on our Guardian Nation live broadcast.
Yes.
Where that was another opportunity for people to ask questions and get some answers. We've had him on the podcast a few times. We've asked him commonly asked questions on the podcast, but this is your chance, and this is a great chance, because it'll be very focused on the law of self-defense. It'll be geared towards you, those that are participating. It'll be your opportunity to ask these questions directly to Andrew and make sure you've got the information you need to be a properly, responsibly armed carrier.
Yeah. Now, a couple more notes that I think are really critical here. First and foremost, know that attendance on these webinars is limited. We can't have unlimited number of people attend by nature of the technology and the cost to host the webinars. So they are limited to 500 people each. So only 500 people can attend each session of the webinar. So make sure you get registered right away, put on your calendar and plan to attend. Second, we are going to be giving away some prizes. We want people to be in attendance. So you have to be present to win. More detail on the prizes to come soon, but you're going to want to be plugged in and in attendance the entire webinar that you're registered for, because you might win a really fun prize. And third and last, if you attend this webinar and you realize that there's so much more that you can learn, that the fundamental elements of self-defense are a little bit more complex than you might have initially thought, there's going to be an opportunity at the end of the webinar to buy some of the legal products, that are the educational products that Andrew offers and that we offer at a very steep discount. I can promise you it's going to be a bargain you can't miss. So make sure you go to the link below the video, get registered for one or more or both of these webinars now, put them on your calendar, plan to attend, and be in attendance. And come prepared with a couple of questions that are really important to you, those things that you are not clear on as it relates to self-defense law. So from concealedcarry.com, this is Jacob and Riley. Follow the link below the video, and we'll see you on September 19th or 20th.